If your goal was to eat, you cannot complain about having a lot on your plate. A lot of women claimed that they wanted the soft life. You want to be a soft girly. I get it. But most of you do not want to do what it takes to get to that point. When the girls in tech, law, finance, and healthcare got on here and showed you guys what living a soft life looked like, you were so in love. That's exactly the life that you wanted. But I can bet majority of you are not willing to put in the work that it takes to get to that point. Law school, med school, nursing school, grad school, these are not easy tasks. But you go through that hard time so that on the other side, you can have a much easier life. A lot of people want to get into entrepreneurship because they like the idea of not being on anyone else's time, having their own schedule. But the downside of that is you're not on a schedule. You have to decide everything. It is very tedious work. So reevaluate what you really want, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you don't actually want a soft life. You want to be treated like a baby. Good luck with that. If your goal was to eat,
So, as the videos in the introduction indicated, you need to have more than a pretty face to live the life that you want to live. Money is the number one factor that determines your ability to afford a soft life, quote unquote. But first, let's see what the definition of living a soft life actually is. From my understanding, it alludes to living a life of ease and pleasure. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But lately, I've been seeing a surge of women, specifically online and offline, talking about how they want a soft life, but they don't want to work. They just want to be wives and rely on their husbands, partner, man, and whatnot. And in its simplest form, there's nothing wrong with that as well. Because how you live your life is up to you, it's subjective. You know what works for you, you know what you want. But you need to also understand that there is always going to be a trade. So you're always going to trade something for what you want, right? And it's up to you to decide whether the trade is worth it or not. And we're going to need to be serious about the work it takes to get to live a soft life. So first, let's start off by defining what a soft life actually means to you. Because not everyone has the same aspirations for their future. Does your version of a soft life involve living in a big house full of kids with lots of help from nannies and your husband working, providing for everything? Or does it look like creating your own business empire where you create multiple streams of passive income so you have the choice to work or not to work? Or maybe you want to be constantly traveling around the world and have a buzzing, popular travel blog where you document your travel stories to share with other people. Or is it a combination of all of these things? That is all up to you. So when we're talking about building a soft life or working towards a soft life, the way I am approaching it is by kind of working backwards. So you envision what your ideal life looks like, and then you work backwards by taking the steps to get there. And you can begin picturing your ideal life by either writing it down in a journal or creating a vision board or even a Pinterest board. Now that you've established or at least have an idea of what your ideal future looks like, let's see what you'll need to do to get there. And in this particular video, I will be focusing on how to use your education and your entry into the workplace, how to use those two aspects to your advantage to propel you into acquiring that soft life. And many of you who are watching probably have started college, university, whether it's your first year or entering another academic year. Or some of you have decided not to go into the formal education route and get straight into the workforce, or do a short course to gain skills that will help you get into the world of work. Whatever you have decided for yourself, this video will be useful. And I'm going to talk about how you can make the most of your time, be it in college and university, and how to prepare for when you do enter the working world, or if you're already in the working world and you've just settled in, how you can make the use of it. Most women are going to need to work to survive. You're going to trade your time and labor in exchange for money to survive. Also, by the way, the things I will be talking about is going to be a mix of what I did and what I wish I did, supplemented with some research here and there. And also bear in mind that I am by no means a career expert. So here is a list of what I think maximizing your education privilege entails. I speak about education because that's the route that I went through. Starting off with number one, if you can, go to a high-ranking university/college and study a sought after course like computer science, economics, accounting and finance. If you're not really into those subjects, and for instance, you're into subjects like anthropology, history, make sure that you go to an institution that is highly reputable for teaching that particular subject. And to be honest, this goes for every subject, whether you are into the STEM field or not. These two are pretty important factors to consider, especially the second part. If you're going to decide to spend thousands of dollars and pounds to study a subject and get a loan from the government to study that subject, make sure that the university you're applying to or you want to attend has a good reputation for teaching that particular subject of your choice, so you can get the best out of your money. So this means that you need to do your due diligence and attend open days, taster days at the university, where you can speak to the current students studying the course and teachers, so you can get a feel of the university, the college, the campus, and the course, and see if it's an actual match for you. Look at the annual university college rankings. The higher ranked the university, and I know some of you are going to call me classist, elitist, and whatnot, but studying at a university is an investment, as I already alluded to before, and you want to make it worthwhile, and you want to make sure that you get a return in your investment. So being at a higher ranked university, it doesn't have to be the best of the best, but it has to be up there. You'll most likely have a lot of resources at your disposal, and these universities tend to have a lot of connections to some of the best companies in the world, whether it's tech companies, law firms, investment banks, and so on. So you want to ensure that you're in an environment that gives you the tools that will allow you to ease yourself into the world of work once you finish your undergraduate degree, your graduate course. Go onto the course website on the university page and see what the employment rate is after the students graduate from the course. Some courses don't offer many employment opportunities at all, so you need to be wary of that when you are looking into finding a subject that you're interested in but also want to pursue a career in. Look at the student satisfaction rate as well. If it's low, or even if it's just 50% and below, I would definitely dig deeper and see why the rate is so low. Usually it's because of how the course is taught, or the people who teach the course, such as the teachers, the lecturers, the staff, and also the lack of employment opportunities, because what's the point of spending all that money when you can't even find a job? If you don't choose to go to university and instead pick to go straight into the workforce, there are many ways in which you can go about this. So for instance, through degree apprenticeships, which involves usually working for a company for 3 to 4 days a week, and then the rest of the days, the 1 or 2 days a week, you are studying and attending lectures for the undergraduate degree. And this is a great alternative, and in many cases it's way better because A, the company you work for actually pays for your degree, so you have no university debt to your name. B, you're working and gaining experience in the industry of your choice that is related to your degree whilst being paid. And C, you graduate with a degree and you also have a job with 3 to 4 years of experience in your back pocket, which already sets you apart from the majority of graduates. Another way of entering the workforce without having to go through formal education is through an apprenticeship. So you are just working as an employee and you are in a unique position where you can get hands-on experience in the industry of your choice at a very young age. So whatever you decide to work toward, make sure that it will give you a set of skills that you can actually use in multiple fields. And you can find this out through a simple Google search. I would still advise you to work for a highly reputable company that will provide you with a lot of learning and upskilling opportunities through training courses, taking on different projects and so on. And the reason why I say go for a highly reputable company is because it does make it a bit easier to find other jobs after you leave that company, and you can find other jobs at even better companies or on the same level as that company that you're currently working for. Because the last thing you want to do is dedicate your time and labor to a company and not get anything in return. Whether it's clout, whether it's the skills, whether it's connections, or all three, you need to make sure that you are benefiting to the max. And when you leave the company, as I just said, you will be in a position where you'll be able to demand for a better role and more money. So you want to have that leverage. Next on the list is to get at least one internship during your college degree, university degree, and or a placement as well, if your course offers one. Preferably, I would advise to aim for one internship per academic year. So if you do 4 years of undergrad, try to aim for like 4 internships by the time you finish. And some may think this is extreme, and I kind of agree, but that's what I did, and it paid off because each internship that I did was in a different industry of my interest. And the reason why I think internships are so important is because they offer you with the opportunity to learn about the industry of your interest and gain experience in that industry at the same time. As a beginner, most employers know and expect interns to be complete beginners and just require you to be open-minded, determined to learn, and a professional. And the likelihood of you having more free time in your education years are high compared to when you enter the workplace and you have a family, things to look after, and so on. So this is a great time during your undergraduate degree or your graduate degree to build your CV slash resume. Explore different pathways, industries that you're interested in through internships, whilst also making money. And I do advise against taking unpaid internships. They should be a crime, to be honest. The internships that you get should always be paid, and the internships that you apply for should always be paid. A big bonus about the pay that you get from internships and placement years, at least in the UK, is that the money that you get is tax-free. Also, another big benefit is that upon completion of your internship and placement, employers usually offer you a full-time graduate job offer when you officially finish and graduate, which is great because you won't need to worry about having to look for a job during your last year at university where you have a gazillion of other things to think about and study for, and rather you can spend that time having fun and studying to get the best grade that you can get because you already have the job in the bag. So many graduates struggle looking for jobs in their subject area, especially these days where the job market is just so competitive and tough. And usually the reason why many of them struggle is because they didn't get any type of experience in the form of an internship or placement. So they end up taking ages to get a job post-graduation. Of course, that's not always the case for everyone, but for a lot of the people that I've spoken to and I've seen, this is their current reality. And this leads me to my next point, which is to exploit the resources that your university or workplace has. If you skipped university and you went into the working world, exploit all the benefits that the company you're working for has to offer, such as private healthcare, private dental care, company discounts, pension schemes, tech equipment, the whole nine. Anything that they offer that will make your day-to-day life better, use it. Take it and use it because they're using you for your labor and time. So why not make the most of what they have to offer? In terms of university resources, use your career office advisors, especially. The amount of times people have asked me for advice on getting a graduate job or how to construct a CV And when I asked them if they ever booked an appointment with their careers officer and they said no, I would actually be fighting with Elon Musk for that billionaire title because I would actually become a billionaire. I'm exaggerating here, but you get the point. Book that appointment with the careers officer. If you need help with finding internships, how to look for graduate roles, how to write a CV, a resume, how to write a cover letter, these are the people to go to. Attend those career fairs as well and network with the representatives of the companies at the careers fair. Put in that work, ladies. I'm not even joking. Don't be like those people who say that university college is a scam and yet they barely or didn't even bother taking advantage of the opportunities and resources that their college offered them. Always make sure to connect with your lecturers and mentors in the workplace or in university because they will be the ones to vouch for you if you need any letters of recommendations, references. They can even connect you with someone from their network if you need help with your thesis or for your next job role. If you're struggling with mental health issues, which is quite common for people to experience during their university years or even just in the workplace, especially right at the beginning, book a meeting with a therapist mental health counselor that they offer to see what options they have to help you. And this segues into my next point, which is to get involved in extracurricular activities. There are so many activities of all kinds, whether it be sports, art, that you can join. But because there's so many, it can get quite overwhelming in trying to pick which ones you should join. So this is how I would advise someone to approach it. Join one club or society or however you call it that is strictly related to your hobbies. So you can take your mind off the hustle and bustle, get off study mode, and then meet like-minded people. And then you can also join another club related to your college degree. So you can mingle with the people of your course, but who are in different academic years to you. So if you're studying computer science, join the Computer Science Society so they can support and advise you in your next steps after university or college. They can give you tips and tricks on how to get the best grades in your course. So make the most of that. A third extracurricular activity that you can also join, that I would suggest you join, is related to sports. Ladies, you know how much I talk about staying fit to reap the most out of the health benefits, but of course, the pretty privilege benefits as well. So joining a sports club, whether it's at your educational institution or workplace, is a cheat code to staying fit and also for networking purposes as well. Especially for those of you who don't like going to the gym and find the typical exercises boring and repetitive, this is a great alternative. I personally joined the badminton and tennis club, but because my schedule got so hectic, I had to drop badminton and stuck with tennis because I enjoyed that more. And with all these extracurricular activities, I also suggest that you aim to either be the president, the executive, social media officer, or any leadership role in one of those extracurricular activities, clubs, or societies. The reason being is because this will help you to build your leadership skills and deal with any shyness you have, if you are shy, that is. Because in the outside world, you'll be dealing with people with all sorts of temperaments and personalities. And you don't want to be that one person who just freezes on the spot in an uncomfortable situation because you lack social skills and confidence to deal with that situation. Global companies tend to have their own groups, like their own clubs and societies that you can join internally, like for instance, the African and Caribbean groups, skiing group, baking groups, where they often hold events across different offices that you can attend. And this is another great way to socialize with not only your work colleagues from different departments, but also you can find out what projects are going on in the company that you can potentially ask to join in. And one of the easiest ways to connect and network with people in a professional manner, of course, is through LinkedIn. If you already don't have one, create a LinkedIn account. This is a professional platform where you can connect with other professionals like your colleagues, recruiters, and just find jobs in general. When creating the account, you basically have to input the information that is already on your resume or CV, if you have one. And to get the most out of the app, or I guess the platform, you need to be active on there. And you can be active on there by just engaging with other people, liking posts, writing posts, commenting under other people's posts. So because of the way that the algorithm works, your name will pop up in the search results when recruiters are looking for people to recruit. So these are 7 of the aspects that I was thinking about and you should consider when starting university, or whilst you're in college, or you've just started a new career, brand new career, or you've just entered the workplace, right? Straight out of high school or straight out of college. It's really important to develop your inner self as much as you enhance your outer self. You'll be surprised by how far a banging personality, charisma, charm, social skills, intelligence, and a well-kept person can go in life. You'll be surprised because if you have all of those traits, characteristics, qualities, however you want to categorize them as, if you have all of those things going for yourself, you don't even need to be the beauty standard. You don't even need to be above average in looks. As long as you are looking presentable and you look good, and a strong educational background as well as a good personality, the opportunities will definitely be flowing in. And that's a fact. What else do you think you need to do to get that soft life in terms of education and whilst working in the working world? And I'm not talking about getting it through a man. I mean, what actions are you going to take or are you currently taking to acquire your ideal life? Because it's going to take some work. You can't be lazy, babe. You can't. So I am looking forward to reading your comments and I'll see you in the next one.